Hello, students. I want to talk about calculators. One of the financial calculators, we already talked about some of the features and some of the calculators. One, I want you to become familiar, and it's a project 100 points. Future value calculator. I'm going to click on it, and let's see what it is. The meaning of this is that I have $1,000 in my suppose saving account, and the saving account is giving me 6%. Imagine it's a bank, and I have put $1,000, and it is giving me 6% annually. It is I means interest, Y means annually. PV means present value. At the present value, at the time I am putting $1,000, and then periodic payments, periodic deposit is $100. And for a period of 10 years, which means I'm going to keep this $1,000 in my account for 10 years. And then not only that, every year I am going to add $100 to it and see what's going to happen after 10 years. And then when it says end here, the meaning of it is that this $100 that I am putting in the account, I don't put that in January, for example. I am going to put that at the end of the, period of first year, for example, means every December rather than January. Just imagine that we just put this one in January, but in January we don't put $100 in December, because that makes a difference. If you put $100 in January, that gets additional 6%, this $100. But when you are putting it at the December, then in December, then you get 6% in December and after that. Therefore, that's where the name end comes in here. Therefore, to summarize, I'm putting $1,000 and the bank is giving me 6%. And if for a period of 10 years, I'm going to put my $1,000 plus. Every year, I'm going to put $100 in December, and I click calculate to see how much I have. I will have, after 10 years, I will have $3,108. And then what happens is that if you look at this chart in here, you will see a starting amount which is $1,000. This is the blue one. The green one, periodic deposit. Didn't I say that I put $100 every year for a period of 10 years? That is what it is. That's why it is equal to this one. These two, blue and green, are the same. Do you see the reason to it is that $1,000 at the beginning, $100 for 10 years. If you multiply 100 by 10, it's 1,000. Therefore, 1,000 here, 1,000 here, and then the rest of it is interest. Do you see periodic deposit, $1,000, and total interest will be $1,108.93. For now, I don't want you to pay attention to this present value. We will talk about that. But my assumption that you almost understood what it is, I'm going to talk about this one. You start putting $1,000 in the bank, in January, and then at the end of the year, you put another $100, and then the interest you are getting, 6% of this $1,000 is $60. That's why at the end of the year, you have $1,160. What happens after 10 years, year 10, the total balance will come to $3,108.93. And during the 10th year, when it is year 9, this is what the money goes up to. And here, when the year 10, January of 10, year 10 starts, this is how much you have. You are adding $100 more to it, and you are getting interest. You see, this interest is higher than this one, because in the after 10 years, after 9 years, you have much more in your account. And 6% of this is 170. Therefore, this is the money you will have at the end of the 3 years. I want you to look at this chart to see if you can guess what it is. Do you remember you put $1,000? This blue line represents that $1,000 that you put. And then first year you added 100. That means the green is 100. The green on the second year is that 100 plus another 100. That's $200 for the, payments you are paying every, year. Therefore, every year it goes up by 100. That's why you see this green is moving higher and higher. And imagine that on the 10th year, you put another, 100, that makes it 1,000. That's why here on the 10th year, you have this blue, the original 1,000, plus you have already put 1,000 extra every, for 10 years, you contributed $100. And then this color, which is like brownish, that is the total interest. When you look at this line, it will be $3,108. That is the total here in here, you see. What is the benefit of this table is that I have made an assignment for you to look at and see the benefit of understanding this table. Here it is. I put it in Microsoft Word, and I'll tell you what it is. Imagine that I have a son, and this son I need $50,000 for my son who is going to go to the college 10 years from now. And therefore, I have to start saving my money now. That way I can have $50,000 10 years from now, and then I can send my son to the college. Or you can think about this 50,000 is that you might decide to buy a house 10 years from now, and you may need $50,000 for down payment, closing costs, and those things. But you don't have the money right now. What you are going to do is that you are going to tell the calculator you need $50,000 10 years from now. All you have today is only how much? $8,000. You are wondering if you have $8,000 and the bank gives you 6% interest, which I am going to highlight, then how much annually you have put in here. That way you can bring your $8,000 and make it to $50,000. That way you can buy your house, or you can send your son to the college that requires, or daughter to the college that requires $50,000 from now. And therefore I go back to my calculator and see what I can do. You see, I have 8,000. I already know that's my initial present value. I already know how much interest bank is going to give me, and I need $50,000, Therefore, I go here to my calculator, and I say, okay, I need $50,000 10 years from now. And I said, I originally have 8,000, and imagine I want to buy a house or send my son, and I need $50,000. If I only put $100 every year, let me assure you, it's not going to be that much. Let me calculate. It will be only 15,000. Therefore, I need to increase this one, maybe from 100 to 2,000. Let's see if I put 2,000, can I bring it up to make it to 50,000 10 years from now? That way I can go and buy, the house or send my son to college. Here you go. If I put $8,000 today in the bank, every year I contribute $2,000, it will be $40,688. I am still short. I need 50,000. Let me put here to 2,700 to see how much it comes to. 2,700, and I click calculate. Do you see? It came to 4,000, 49,000, almost 50,000. Even I can put $2,702 to bring it very close to 50, Therefore, based on this, I know that if I want to buy a house 10 years from now, I have to put $8,000 now as my, initial investment, present value, number of period, N means for 10 years, and annually the bank is going to give me 6%. I need to put $2,700 to come up with 49,000. You can use the same strategy if you want to buy a car. You want to buy a car 3 years from now. Here you go. You want to buy a car 3 years from now, and you already have about $1,000, $2,000 as down payment, and the bank is going to give you 6%, 5% interest on your money, and then you are going to contribute $300 a year, or let's say $400 a year. Let's see how much you have for your down payment for the car. Calculate. this will be amount that you will have for the down payment for your car, 3,000, 57, $3,576 3 years from now. And this is how the table will look like. Therefore, I copied my table, the original table for $50,000 in here. And this was the story, and I copied my calculator. You see 10 years, 8,000, my down, initial investment, 6 years. And here I explained how much money I needed, for the future. I want you to come up with some examples and post it on the discussion board and for the student and explain. I have explained additional, examples, that, it is about, for example, you want to, buy a down payment for a car. Any scenario that you would like to create. After you create, post this one on the discussion board. It tells the students that you understand the concept of future value. As I said, you can use the same table for your, what is that called? For your, see how much money you can have. You say that, okay, I already have $2,000 and I am going to see, and I want to know after 3 years how much money I am going to have in my saving account if the bank gives me 3%. And I am going to put every year $300 and say calculate. And then what calculates is that you will have $3,261 in your saving account if you do this. Of course, you can change this, and it's something I want you to learn and read this when it says what is future value, time value of money. You hear about this value, and these are FV means future value, PV means present value, interest, Y means annually, N is number of, period, how many years, and PMT means payment. Sometimes you might say, I don't have any payment. Here you go. My payment is zero. I am going to put my $2,000 for 3 years, and that bank is going to give me 5%, but I don't want to contribute anything, every year. I want to see how much it would be. Of course, it will be less than 3,000. Let me calculate. And here it is, it will be $2,315. That's called future value. Future value of your $2,000 when the interests are at 5%, and when you keep your money in, 3 years, assuming it is going annually. And of course, and this is how the table will look like. And as you see, your 2,000, the blue is staying the same because it's 2,000, and the green here is showing the interest you are getting. The first year, 5% of it is $100. Next year, because you start with 2,100, you get more interest because now you have extra money, and this is the way the table looks like. And if you have any questions, go ahead and write an example. Whatever you have in mind, you want, set money aside for your son, your daughter to go to college, or you want to buy a house, or you want to buy a car, or you want to, just invest, put your money there and see what will happen if you do 5 years or 10 years. It's a very good concept here because it teaches you how to save because you are going to say, I have $2,000 and I am going to get from my paycheck, and I am going to, every paycheck, I am going to put $300, and I want to see in the next, in the next 10 years, how much money I am going to have in my saving account. And you click calculate, and this is how much you are going to have after 10 years if you follow this, procedure. Anyhow, this is a good table to learn because you can expand it to many other ways. And you go ahead and post this one, use your own example. And the reason you see my numbers are colored here because I transfer everything to Microsoft Word and I highlight them. And then suppose I highlight this, and then I come here and use the color in here. That's why you see, and then put your calendar as well. Put your, calculator as well. That way we see how it is going and how it looks like. If you have any questions, let me know.